proving my point more and more. America is not divided by race and religion, it's divided by intelligence. Watch Jessica Tarlov get destroyed by Greg Gutfeld. You guys gotta check this one out.
All right, Greg, I'll start with you, seeing as Chris Matthews is not too happy with
He's a big
you.
fan of yours.
He says that you are humiliating the Democrats.
You know, when you lose Chris Matthews,
You lost everything. Why
it's
go to
time to
work?
retire,
I thought that was a
America.
compliment.
No, it
Yeah.
was. You know that he'd never heard of the show before until he's heard about it on NPR, and now he has to outlaw
Right.
laughing. Again, I said this before. If you're the neighbor that is living next door to somebody throwing a party, do you call the police on them? Or do you go over there, introduce yourself, say hello, and say, hey, do you think you can turn it down a little? They're the neighbor that calls the police. They want to have fun, but they just can't. I think, you know, what you're seeing, again, is the consequences of identity politics. They thought that expanding the tent by kind of like just getting all these identities together, create little boxes, stack them on top of each other, that would work. But what happened is, by adding one box, 3 left. They became a sanctuary for silliness. You know, if you start, you know, we're so inclusive. We believe men should be in girls' locker rooms.
Yep.
We support Hamas supporters. We don't want you to deport gangs in American cities to their countries that they came from. We back
makes
every
sense.
recidivist criminal and every race hoaxer. What happens is, by inclusivity, you excluded the normal people and they wanted to get the hell out of here. Pretty soon, the face of your party became the hysterical activist screaming on behalf of Hamas at Colombia. So you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those women who write letters to men on death row, and then they marry one of them. You know, their maternal compassion gets hijacked. Used to be animal rights, you know, but now it's militants and trans. And when you hear the chants on campus, it's all predominantly female voices. The party has become the troubled, lonely woman who marries a mass murderer, and they're stuck with them. The party's got to realize, and we do, and you know, they got to realize that compassion is not compassion if it's for the wrong thing. True compassion is telling somebody who's doing a bad thing not to do it, which is what we've been doing before. This is the heart of compassion for the Democratic Party.
But I'll say this: whenever you try to tell a Democrat something, and it's not even someone that's like a political official, you may know a Democrat, and you try to talk to them about what's wrong, they don't want to hear it, and they're the most unloyal party ever. They are not loyal people. They backstab each other. I know you guys have been watching the media. All these people do is backstab each other, and you see what they're doing to Chuck Schumer. I got countless examples. You see what they did to Kamala Harris when she had $1 billion something and she blew that trying to beat Trump. You see what they did to Biden. His mind is being lost. They trade on everybody that's a Democrat. You know, they trade on each other. Why would you trust these people to lead the country? You know, you, like I say, you keep voting blue no matter who. You know, that's just crazy to me. Why would you still vote blue? And you see what these people are made of. Keep going, man.
Party. The Dems no, it's true. We've been telling them, no, stop that. But now they have no plan B, which is
Exactly.
ironic.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Brian, given the apparent disconnect between the public and the positive view of the direction that the country's going and the negative view of the media and the Democrats, is this like signaling like a larger shift in politics in America?
I think so, because the Democrats really have no way of addressing. They're not realizing the Republicans are addressing a problem. I mean, whether you like it or not, Social Security is going to go bankrupt in a few years. Whether you like it or not, the Medicare formula for giving people health care has got to be reformed right away. The deficit is a problem. It's 7.2% of all our revenue. These have to be addressed. It's not my idea. This is an emergency 5-alarm fire. So what the Republicans are doing is saying, okay, this is how we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. And all they're saying is, what a bunch of bad people. And isn't Donald Trump awful? I mean, we have to find a way to build the ship in under 5 years. We can't do that anymore. If Democrats have a better way to do that, let's hear it. So enough of the personality. I know you're obsessed with Donald Trump, but he's gone in 3.5 years, right? 3 years, 3.75 years. You have to have your own plan. And Chuck Schumer, I hate to say it, the New York Post is right. He had no choice.
Yeah.
He had to do this. I mean, for them to unload on this guy when he lost the day the speaker passed the bill on a party line vote, except for Jared Golden and one other voter and Massey. For me, Schumer actually did the right thing. Mitch McConnell would have done the same thing. because you lost. You lost on election day. You lost both houses and the White House, and then you lost when Speaker Johnson did his job. So if you went ahead and did what they wanted, Donald Trump would be laughing all weekend.
That's
He'd be
right.
like, I'm funding everything I want and not funding anything, and it's all your fault, Democrats. So he had no choice.
You know, Dana, Simone Sanders was so disgusted. And, you know, by being angry, it's like, we can say Schumer did the right thing, but it's like she's ignoring the fact that if the Democrats don't like Doge, they were giving Donald Trump the ability to Doge the whole government by saying who is considered an essential worker and who isn't.
Yeah, anger is not going to get you very far, but I do understand one reason why they're angry with Chuck Schumer, because he gave the impression all week long that he was going to vote against it.
But Chuck Schumer, I don't like the guy. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He's dirty. He's dirty as Nancy Pelosi. That's what I'm gonna start saying. You're dirty as Nancy Pelosi. So when I ain't took a shower in weeks, you're dirty as Nancy Pelosi. That's what I'm gonna start saying. But he stood up, I think, now because he's realizing he's causing a lot of damage. You know, that's what a lot of these Democrats are starting to do. He's hopping on that John Fetterman train, but Fetterman, he's a little bit more likable because he did it way earlier. You know, but I still don't trust a Democrat far as you could throw him.
Up until Thursday night. And then all of a sudden on Friday, he changes his tune. And I think that was the anger. The smart leadership thing, leader position should have been, we actually don't have the votes, guys. And it could be really bad for us. We are going to live to fight another day. Stick with me on this one. When they try to pass all these tax cuts for the rich, then we will go en masse. But right now, this is not the fight that we need. He didn't do any of that because he can't do any of that. And the sad thing is for the Democrats, it's very grim when Chuck Schumer is your voice of reason.
Yeah.
Things are so bad for them that he wrote a book about anti-Semitism that he cannot promote. It comes out tomorrow. He's canceled the entire book tour, not because the right's going to protest him, but because he was going to get protested on the left. And so therefore, you can't even talk about anti-Semitism. Plus, the other thing is, when you look at the media that we showed here, like I would say liberal leaning, but even the Democrats on the media panels, they seem to look at all of this polling that's devastating for Democrats and say, yep, we're exactly right in all of our positions. And then they continue to do the same thing over and over again. Chris Murphy was on TV saying, the polling shows we need to fight Trump harder. He didn't say fight him smarter. He said just fight them harder.
Yeah. You know, the interesting thing is one of the things that we
So that's the thing, man. When Trump was running for president, they fought him insanely hard. But they weren't smart. They wasn't smart enough to cover their tracks. They was like, oh, Biden last effort, he's about to get out of the office. Biden, give us a preemptive pardon. Create a word out of thin air. Give us a preemptive pardon. And now they don't even know what you call a word for undoing a pardon. They're saying void it. They say revolt, overturn. They don't even know what to say now. They're just creating words because these Democrats are afraid that they may have really, really screwed up big time. Man, this is like comedy to watch at this point. It's like a soap opera.
saw today is that AOC is kind of leading the pack in terms of who is the leader of the Democrat Party. I mean, you know, what does she have to do, I mean, to actually get the public trust back in the Democrat Party?
Well, I think that what you're seeing in AOC being the leader on that poll, and it was only by 1 percentage point, is that Democrats
actually get the public trust back in the Democrat Party.
Well, I think that what you're seeing.
Wait a minute. They're trying to make AOC the face of the Democratic Party. They already have like a 20% approval rating, you know? Wait a minute. Let's listen.
And AOC being the leader on that poll, and it was only by 1 percentage point, is that Democrats are desperate for somebody who has fight in them. They don't actually really care what their politics are. And that was the most interesting finding from the NBC poll this weekend. So in April 2017, when Trump had just come in for the first time, 59% of Democrats wanted their party to work with Trump. Only 33% said stick to your positions, even if that means that Washington doesn't work. Now 65% want Democrats to stick to their positions, even if they don't accomplish things, because they want some pushback. And that is where Chuck Schumer failed in this. We have known.
Jessica, you need to stop listening to NBC, CNN, and all the BS that you see, you know, because Trump has a 100% approval rating for me and most of the Republicans, I will say all the Republicans that voted for him. He's doing everything he said he was going to do, and he's doing it, you know, with like no regard of what other people think. You know, you think how he treated Zelensky was bad? Hey, forget you. He's still doing him. Let's keep going, man. Let's see what Jessica Tarlov has.
That March 14th was the day that we were going to have to vote on this bill for months. There was not enough preparation getting to this point. They could have branded whatever the CR was going to look like. They could have said, you know what this is? This is going to be Doge on steroids, right? They didn't do that. And then on top of it, they didn't propose their own CR. You could have come out and said, this is what we want to bring to the table. These are our priorities. It should be bipartisan to keep the government open. Let's do X, Y, and Z. Are these the amendments that we have to have? The Republicans have done that successfully before. They did in 2021. They filibustered, and they got some of what they wanted. You're not in control, so it's not going to be perfect. But I really think it's about being a fighter and showing that you're not just going to capitulate to whatever they want. And yeah, of course, it's a good thing for Trump if he has this 47% approval, highest, but also his disapproval is the highest he's ever had in the NBC poll as well at 51%. It's the highest percentage of people who think that their business outcome for the next year is at the highest level since 1980.
And listen here, man, the video's over. Once I heard her keep naming these news networks she listens to, that sucks. But I'll tell you guys right now, the Democrats lost, and I am so happy. But I just can't. AOC as the front runner for the Democratic Party, it's over. Goodbye, Democratic Party. Just goodbye. Hello, America. Thanks. I'm happy to be a patriot. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let me know what you react to. We're out.